Hi everybody, welcome back to Judy P's Crafty Journeys, and today I'm going to be doing some decoupaging using some cheap plastic saran wrap and some napkins, some chipboard, and an envelope and some cardstock. I am actually making some invitations, some tag invitations for my son's Eagle Scout ceremony. And I had originally taken this napkin here and I had decoupaged it to some cardstock, and you can see it has some wrinkles, but you know, it still turned out really nice, I think. And then I can give the invite on the back. But what happened was I seen a post on a feed in one of my groups today in regards to decoupaging, and if somebody else does it in a different manner so that it comes out neater and doesn't feel the same way as Modge Podge does and such. And somebody on there, actually, it was Ashley Roper, who had suggested saran wrap. And I don't remember if she said she'd seen it done or if she'd done it herself. But so I thought, well, heck, this is like perfect timing, because if I can make them look nice and smooth and a lot better than what I did with this one with the Modge Podge, that would make me very happy, because I need to get these done tonight. So I went and I got on YouTube and I checked out a video by a lady named Joyce Schmidt. And it was like from 3 years ago, but it was self-explanatory. And so I thought I'd try it. Now, first of all, to let you know, when you do the napkins, and I've said this before in one of my other decoupage videos, and you guys, I'm really excited to try this, because if this works out like I'm hoping it does, it's going to look really pretty. But anywho, if you make a piece of tape, just a plain piece of Scotch tape, I can get it in frame here, and take it to the edge, and that'll help pull away the plies of the napkins. In this case, this one actually has 2 plies, and it's harder to get off for me, so I did just tear the corner of it a little bit, but that's all right. Hopefully my saran wrap will just put that right down where it needs to be, but that's how you section it, okay? And you just pull it apart. Move this out of the way. There we go. And you have to be careful so you don't tear the napkin. I tore it a little bit, but that's all right. And save your other pieces, guys, because you could use them for other effects and stuff. Don't throw those away. And I'm going to grab me a piece of chipboard here, and it's pretty thick. So we're going to see how it works. Because the video I worked, they didn't use chipboard. They used something else. Just the cardstock. So I'm going to take a piece of plastic wrap, which, by the way, I don't know how many of you cannot stand plastic wrap. I do not like it. I don't even know why I bother to keep it in the house, because half the time it's a pain in the butt to use. Because it sticks to itself and it drives me crazy. But anyway, if you can manage to get a piece off, which I just did, yay for me. It's like very exciting. That usually doesn't happen. Put that on top of your cardstock, and I did put a piece of the parchment paper down first under the chipboard so that I don't accidentally hit that plastic and melt it onto my ironing board. And then I'm going to take my napkin and I'm going to put that over and smooth that out as best I can. Let me see if I should bring this up a little bit. I'm a little zoomed down and I need to come up just a bit. Though I think you can get the general idea. I was trying to, if I could do it. I was trying to keep my messy craft room out of the picture. There we go. Let's see if I can bring it down a little bit more. There we go. This is basically all you need to see is that part anyway. And then I take another piece of parchment paper and I put it over the top of that. All right, so you can see what that looks like now. And I put my iron on the highest setting because, of course, I can't do anything on the low setting. I'm the same way with cooking, you know. Got to have that heat going. So we're going to start ironing on top of the parchment paper, and I'm going to push down as hard as I can because I really want to make sure that it sticks and stays neatly. Oops. Sliding off of the board a bit. And I'm going to hold it for a few seconds in each section, and then I'll go back over it and do the back and forth motion that people do when they iron. So, I was really glad when I seen that discussion on the feed because, like I said, this is like perfect timing because this is, you know, I'm not a huge fan of Modge Podge. So, excuse me. And it does make sense because obviously it's got some sticking agent on it, right? Because it sticks to everything else. So, press down some more on that. Excuse me. And I'm not for sure how long you're supposed to do it for, but I'm just winging it and doing what I think. I need to move it up and come down here because my parchment paper wasn't big enough to get the whole thing in there. It's a big piece of chipboard that I actually saved out of some scrapbooking paper. So if you ever buy things of scrapbooking paper, not in the pads, but they're like in a pack, they'll have that piece of really strong chipboard in there holding it all straight. And I make sure that I save all that because it definitely comes in handy. And it's a perfect size for a lot of things that I like to do, so then I don't have to mess with it. All right. So that's quite a bit. And of course, I just hit that plastic wrap with my iron. All right, let me see how it is doing here. And I think that it is sticking. Yep, sure is. This part's not sticking on my edge right here, but I didn't have the saran wrap right there. My piece wasn't wide enough, but that's all right. I think what I'll do is I'll just tear another piece of it, see what it does on the edge. Let's stick that right there and see if I can get that to stay, because I really do need all my edges. Right. Yep, it did. Okay. So, it worked out quite nicely. Peel it, and be careful too, because obviously it's very, 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 very hot. And look at that, guys. See how nice and smooth it is? It's gorgeous. And I'm just going to go over that napkin real quick. Just with the iron itself. Just to make sure it stays. And voila, then I just need to trim off the edges. So it worked very well. Very, very smooth. So yeah, I like it. So look at that compared to that. Let's see if I got it in frame. You can definitely tell the difference. So I'm really excited about that. So that's going to save me some time, guys. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to use this envelope. And I'm going to put some plastic wrap over it. And I've got a piece of tissue paper laying over it. Not tissue paper, but a piece of really thin paper. It's like a vellum type paper. And I'm going to put it over this envelope here. It's a really pretty musical note one. So if it's stuck to that chipboard, you know it's going to stick to this envelope, right? So, once again, I am going to do what I did before. And what I did this time is I actually had a piece under it all ready to go so I could throw it on the ironing board, and I just threw a piece of saran wrap on top of it. I want to see what it will look like, if it makes any difference in the look and feel of doing a piece on top and underneath. All right, let's see. And you can just tell when you are ironing it that it's sticking. It's just, you can just tell it because it kind of takes on like a more pressed look than what it did. Look at that, guys. So this is on top of it and on bottom of it. So now I've got a shiny one, you know, a little bit more sheen to it than the other one. So that's with doing it over it. And it gives it a waxy kind of feel. So I really like that one too. That feels really nice. So I like that. So we've done it with a piece under your piece of napkin or paper in this instance, because like I said, it was a piece of like a vellum type paper. So we know that paper works. And then we've got a piece of cardstock, and I have some really pretty red napkins. Where did they go? I don't have them out here. Oh, I do. So here's some pretty red ones. Now these ones, I don't have to use that tape trick because it comes apart real easy. But like I said about keeping them, the layer you pull off, look at that, because that still has such a beautiful, beautiful look about it. That embossing on it, the imprint into that tissue, you can reuse it for this stuff. So yeah. And I must admit, I'm actually having fun ironing, guys, which is highly unusual because I hate to iron. I really do. It's no fun. And I stink at sleeves and pant legs and so, but I think I might have changed my mind when it comes to this. All right, so we got our cardstock and then another piece of the saran wrap. And I'm going to smooth it out to the best of my ability there. And I am going to put my paper on there. And then I'm going to take my other piece of parchment. And we'll do this one on the piece of cardstock. Oops. Like I said, push down a little bit first in different areas and hold it rather than going back and forth, because if you start going back and forth right away, then all your stuff's going to slide all over the place, which I just started doing because of that. Kind of trying to hold on to it a little bit here. And make sure you get it in the corners good, because I've seen in the other one that that's really where the issue lies. You got to make sure you have that wax paper spread up into those corners, because you don't want it to be peeling off. So there we go. And I recommend too that if you've got an older iron, do it with an older iron just in case. I have 2 irons, so it's not really an issue, but oops. All right, let's see here. Oh yeah, see? Now it did take a lot of the print out of it, but you can still see it has a print to it to a certain degree in it. So it does give it, it still left some texture. And seeing it in person, it looks a lot better. So it's sticking to it. It's all good. I need to trim the edges up. So yeah, so that's about it, guys. Let's see, anything else? Oh, I think that's it. So let me show you what we did here. And you can take a look at them right quick and see what you think. This is the one we just finished. Like I said, I'm going to trim that up. We have got this gorgeous envelope that we did. So I need to trim that one off. So you can see it. And then my one for my invitations, I'm going to be cutting out into invites. So I'm going to be cutting some tags, guys, with this. And I'm really excited about them. So, okay, yeah. So that's what we got, guys. So if you don't want to mess with sticky glue, then you can mess with sticky saran wrap instead. All right, guys, don't forget, life's a journey, not a destination. And thank you for joining me once again. Bye, guys.